Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cosmic Lounge and Menorca Consciousness Group. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got a brilliant guest this evening, Arnie Layton from the USA. Really looking forward to speaking with Arnie. That's the topic we're going to be discussing and so much more. Where are we at now regarding the journey, so to speak, the spiritual path, current affairs, what's happening in the world, etc. So I've been really looking forward to this chat, to be honest, since Arnie accepted our invitation. So really looking forward to this chat. It's going to be a mix, so hold on tight. And I've just, in fact, we're just going to bring Arnie in. Let's bring Arnie in. Let's get on with it.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Arnie. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Brilliant stuff. Arnie, as we said, I'm so happy that you've joined us. It's like, I think we can get our teeth into some of this stuff. And like we said in the introduction, it's a mix, likely going to be a mix of the current affairs, where we're at, and the spiritual path. But I just want to say hello to everybody. You want to say hello to people, Arnie, if you want to say hello.
Hey, Kim Princess.
Hi, Rish. Hi, Kim. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Cosmic Lounge. It's going to be cosmic. Maybe. Who knows? I want to keep saying them words, buckle up, butterfly, because we're going to take a look at Elite. So, Arnie, if you will, please, you're in the US. Whereabouts are you based?
I'm in Queens, New York. I'm right outside the city.
Wow, in Queens. That's got a mystery for some of the guys over in the UK, because we always, some of the old movies used to be set in the Queens, I've just got movies starting to come to my mind. I'm seeing images and pictures of, I don't, what was it? There was one movie where it was about the gangs. One was from the Queens. Oh, what do you call it? Was it Escape from New York, actually? There was different gangs. It's all movie stuff.
The Warriors, that was an old movie. That was with gangs.
That's the one.
Escape from New York, I think that was with Kurt Russell.
It was, yeah. Brilliant stuff. Anyway, Queens, New York. So please, if you will, Arnie, tell us what you do. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Basically, around 4 years ago, through loss, I had like a reawakening.
Yeah.
Even though I was kind of coming into this anyway, that just put me in full force. And through meditations, I've gotten oracle cards. I created 20 decks of oracle cards. And through artwork, I'm doing artwork with light codes in it. And the latest deck was the first time I've actually had this happen. In meditation, I will get like flashes of the codes, or I'll get images, and I'll get like just sayings, and sometimes it doesn't connect right away, and in time it all starts to come together. In this case, I was feeling an entity almost, and I was getting a name, Jacob's Tear, and I just wrote it down. This started about a year ago, and every once in a while in these meditations, I'll feel that I won't see anything, but I'll feel the name. And the odd thing was, maybe about 3-4 weeks ago, I actually decided, let me look into this. When I looked online, I couldn't find anything. When I went into AI, and I put that name in, it was, I'm getting chills. It was all the things I was doing for this deck. It had to do with Lyrans. It had to do with like our past, and about unity, and about what's happening now.
Yeah,
what's coming into play now. So
incredible.
Yeah.
When was this, Arnie?
It started about a year ago.
Yeah.
And maybe about a month and a half ago, I actually started looking into that name. I wrote it down. I never paid attention. I thought, maybe I'm crazy,
Yeah.
But when I looked in AI and I started looking at that name,
yeah,
it was, a Lyran master, group consciousness.
Yeah.
And from, it was just, it's amazing. I was taken back. It was like, sometimes when you have a little bit of doubt, you'll get that,
Yeah.
that synchronicity or that answer that you need. Say, okay, this is real.
Yeah. Oh, I love Arnie. I love this. I love this. I tell you why I love it is because it's funny because we've just had a full day workshop on spiritual guides. We finished literally, let's say, 15 minutes, half an hour before we came on here. And there was a point in what we was kind of explaining about spiritual guides is that first-hand experience, what we get for ourselves. It's okay somebody saying, I can see this guide or that guide with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's outside ourselves. It's coming from the external as we perceive it. Somebody else is saying it. And we were saying on the course, finding your guides within yourself through your own meditation, it gives it the official rubber stamp. It's authentic. The word for me is it's authentic. It's real. You're having the first-hand experience between you and that guide. And that's why when you was describing what happened to you, it's like, yes, this is how it's supposed to be. It's like, it's not that we need to find them for ourselves, but go into that space where we can attune or get to a point of resonance where they can get in on that resonance, because we know they'll match our frequency, and boom, and you got what you've got. And it's open that, for me, without, sounding too exaggerated, there can be mind-blowing experiences.
Yes.
And leave us, that's what floors us. That's what makes it, it puts us in awe of what's going on. I absolutely love it. Thank you for sharing it. And how many decks have you created so far? Did you say?
I created 19 Oracle decks, and I did 1 tarot deck.
No, so 20 decks then.
20 decks.
So guys, if you want any decks, here's Arnie. Get in touch. So send from within. Go on Arnie's space. I presume, are they available for people to get hold of, Arnie?
Yeah, I mostly sell them at the fairs. I do.
Yeah.
The spiritual fairs like that over here. But no, I do have them listed online.
Yeah.
I really don't advertise them because I feel these type of decks are meant for people who it resonates with and are drawn to. So that's how I feel.
Right, I get this. No, I'm with you on that one. I know these frequencies. Yeah, it's Rish. Sounds cool. Very cool, Rish. So I'm just going to say a quick hello because I know Jennifer's here. Hopefully she's still here. Jennifer Rose. Hi, Jennifer. I'm going to give a shout out to Jennifer because it was through Jennifer that we met. I was watching, and I did watch the part where you was showing some of your art. Your art is amazing, Arnie.
Thank you.
I absolutely love it. So thank you so much, Jennifer. And Jennifer, thank you she's streaming this on 2 of her platforms. So thank you. Really appreciate it. I was with Jennifer last night. It's becoming a regular thing with me and Jennifer. It's like, well, I think we're going to start a series at some point. So thank you, Jennifer. We love you lots, by the way. Yes. And then we've got Sue. Thanks for joining us, Sue. Ascending Universal Butterfly. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I think I missed one. I did see somebody else come on. Rish is here. Nice to have you with us, Rish. Brenda. Hi, Brenda. Thanks for joining us. So let's get. Let's open this up, guys. Just to let you know, this is going to be a bit of a mix because we're going to dive deep. We're not going to dive down the rabbit hole. We're going to get hold of it and rip it open in public. I think maybe potentially. Okay. So buckle up, and at the same time, we're going to bring that spiritual aspect into it. Let's kickstart it off, Arnie. Where are we at now? Where do you think? Because obviously, we've got the current affairs. It's a complete mess, according to when we look at it with one eye through one lens.
Right.
Okay. When we look at it through a different lens, it can appear different to us, and another lens, and it appears different again. But in its, let's say, tangible, practical format as we're perceiving the world, it looks like it's just a shambles. And then behind that, we know we've got this cosmic shift taking place, and we're bang in the middle of it all. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Cameron. Thanks for joining us. So it leaves us somewhere, doesn't it? It's like, and everybody, we know the waves have been bouncing and pounding away recently, and people are having to try and cope and deal with them. The emotions are coming up for no reason. All of a sudden, suddenly, memories, dreams, almost turning into nightmares for some people. Masses of energy moving around the physical auric field, and so there's a lot going on here. In all that, including with the current state of the planet and what we're seeing, what's your thoughts on it, Annie? Where do you think we are? Just let loose.
Well, to me, it's a combination of the spiritual and the natural. The veils are collapsing. They have collapsed, actually.
Yeah.
And as it's collapsing, our vibration is rising. And we're in that duality state still. We're still in the illusion of time here. Just in this reality, we have it. And with the collapsing, it's the energies. It's trying to keep everyone divided.
Yeah.
And it's in every aspect, whether it's race, religion, anything. Yeah. And we have to be the voice of unity, the bringing in of unity, bringing everything to one. Because in the yin yang world that we live in, you can have both polarities trying to fight for control.
Yeah.
Which is what's going on now. You still have the old system still hanging on. It won't let go. It'll never let go. You have to just keep shining the light on it. And then you have the good system, which is actually running in the background and has been for a while, where everything that you see pretty much on TV is scripted and an illusion.
Yeah.
And also part of it is to just bring in the awakening of people. Because we've been under a system of control for so long and brainwashed for so long that it's kind of like if the flash was to happen like it did in the past, it would obliterate us. Our bodies wouldn't be able to handle it. Yeah. Everything is being in a system where it's slowly to elevate us.
Yeah.
In all aspects.
Yeah, brilliant stuff, Annie. We this came up today, funny enough, about what we can handle. We can't have it all in one go. We know this. Right. It's got to be in phases or stages. And this is what I love about this community and everybody in it. There's a recognition now that it can only happen in stages. And we know when we have those beautiful experiences, spiritually speaking, those phenomenal. And if we was to have it all in one go, like you say, I totally agree. Boom, we're off the planet. It's too much. And the way I've always described it is, it'd be like looking at 1,000 suns all in one go. It'd take us out.
Yeah.
The illumination is too great for us. So we've got to slowly, let's say, for want of a better term, peel the layers off. Mm-hmm. And as we peel the layers off, we can adjust to the sun. It's like coming out of a dark room into the day, bright sunny day outside. It's like your eyes have got to adjust, your body's got to kind of get used to the temperature change and acclimatize and all that. So one shift at one point would be too much. I'm fascinated by a couple of bits of what I want to throw in here. There's loads of stuff. So when you say about the old system collapsing, which it's here, isn't it now? We're seeing it being dismantled. Even that's getting dismantled in stages.
Yes.
So to speak. I mean, I'm always concerned with, and I have to confess to this, I am always concerned with the loss of life, what's taking place. That one is, that's the brain, trying to get our brains around that, trying to get our mind back around that is the bigger. The collapse and the dismantling of the old system. But I want to kind of like zoom in on this, because my thinking is, we've had the old system, which has been doing what it's done. It's set the conditions which has been imposed upon humanity, of which now we're saying, okay, we're letting go of the old conditions, mentally, emotionally, energetically. Like this massive total brainwashing had been taking place for centuries. And then, so that's part of the old system. Then we've got this new system, what's playing out at the moment. And for me, this is where it gets interesting because we had the old world order. That was one. Because I think there's three things here. There was the old world order, which was the one what's getting dismantled now. And part of those started describing and talking about the new world order, what was yet to come, which they wanted to create. And then we've got this third one, what's going on, where it appears they want to split the planet into 5 or 7 republics. Asia, Russia, Europe, America, Middle East, or wherever the other one is. So it's either 5 or 7 republics, so to speak. And we can see this. We can see by China taking over a huge part of the East, Russia expanding. So we've got this expansion, if you like. I'm moving my mind so I don't use certain names and terms at the minute. So Russia's expanding, China's expanding, and we know America's expanding because we've seen that recently by what they've been doing, north and south. So we'll just call it expansionism. That seems to be what appears the New World Order, what was referenced previously, but I don't believe it was. My question is, do we want that New World Order or this new system? So it's not the old world order and it's not the new world order. It's like a new world order, what's starting to unravel and show itself. My question is, do we want that? Because it means basically a new form of control. Or are we looking at all of that being dissolved and that new world with that spiritual kind of energy taking us all, being present and taking us forward?
I think there's actually steps that have to be done.
Yeah.
To even, things will always look bleak, as long as the media is in control.
Yeah.
Of speaking to the masses. That's one thing that has to go.
Yeah.
And as far as, the agendas that they had in place, they still present that.
Yeah.
But I really don't feel that's going to be. And I don't see the world in different pockets of control. Right. I see, as the exposure happens and as more people awaken, once we hit a tipping point, it's like the 100th monkey effect, where people over here, will start seeing what people over here see, and it's going to just elevate everybody, and the controls will slowly slip away. We need to get rid of the money system. That's got to go, because right there, that's control, constant.
100% agree.
And also, we have the other faction that's been here for the longest time and is waiting to make themselves known to us, and that's the ET side of it. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
I think what we're looking at here is, I know that. Well, let's just keep it in a nutshell then. My understanding is, for centuries, money's been king. Money's empowered a certain few. That empowerment has given them a sense of control over everything. Then they can manipulate everything in order to keep humanity in a state of manipulation. Yes. Without looking at all the the details, which we know applies. So my understanding is it's just simply a stage in evolution, that we've come along this path and we've had to come along this path. And when we get over this threshold, through this transition period, money's out the game. Mm-hmm. It will no longer be applicable. It won't apply to us, I don't think. And one of the reasons is people are attached to money because we know they've got to survive as a result of, those means, because that's the way the system was set up. If you want to live by the system, that's God. Money is God. So I think what we're seeing is the dismantling and total dissolution of everything connected to this period in evolution. Almost like I feel we're actually at the end of an eon of time. We're not at the end of a century or era. I honestly believe we are on the fringe, on the edge of an eon, and we're beginning to merge with the new one. And this, what's happening at the moment, this recent shift in energy, is bringing us out of one reality into another. But it's only just started. And last thing on that, what you were saying, Annie, we need the multiplication of light. We need that light generated. And we said this last night, I think, with Jennifer. It's okay saying turn your light up, because that's almost an intellectual thought frequency. I think my understanding is when light is actually generated by us individually and everybody else starts generating it, we need a certain frequency.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many people, the numbers of souls, what can do this, I ain't got a clue. But I understand once we reach a certain frequency, the tipping point is present. And that's what I call 0 point, to be honest. Because and I think we're reaching 0 point, that moment of duality where the polarities collide. And in that 0 point, once a collision, and we're seeing the collision now taking place, that divide and division on many different levels. Once that 0 point takes place, boom, they're going to cancel each other out into the singularity. But not the singularity of AI, the singularity of humanity and consciousness on the planet. That's where I'm kind of coming in from. So, and we're watching this game, or we're watching this scene play out where there's going to be no stone left unturned. And it's not because we want to see what's underneath it. It's because we want to dissolve what's underneath it. We want to see it. We will need to accept it. And we need to transform that energy. And I think this is like phenomenal stuff for me. You know, when we look at the many, many different layers of what's playing out at this minute. Your thoughts, Andy?
And that's where I come in, where I'm different than most, because I believe in love and light.
Yeah.
And I believe in speaking love and light. But a lot of people don't want to speak on the other side because they think it's not love and light.
Yeah.
But we got to this point because no one wanted to speak up. No one would expose what's going on.
Yeah.
And in order to have an awakening is waking up to what's going on around you in the real world.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where I will not back down. That's where I stand on my authenticity. I'll bring things up every once in a while on my page and that, and I get a lot of heat for it, but
of course.
but I mean, this is what has to be done, because like you were saying, you have to expose these things and bring them to the light so that they can be transmuted and healed. And then through healing, we will have the elevation and growth. So you can't have anything hidden anymore. And that's another thing with like the veils closing right now. That's part of it. You can't hide anything. And especially when we get to the point where we start elevating up to 4D and our telepathy starts coming in, I can't hide what I'm feeling from you. I can't hide what I'm feeling from Heidi in the chat.
Correct.
I can't I'm getting chills, so I know I'm right. I know what I'm speaking is spot on right now.
Yeah. Love it.
There'll be nothing to hide.
It's got to go. And it's just got to go. We can't pretend to have the wish or the dream to be pure beings living in a pure world and still hide something. Ain't going to happen. Nope. You know, I totally agree with that. One of the aspects, what it's just reminding me of is in the spiritual space, we know it's almost like we're walking a slightly fine line because we're trying to keep that sense of equilibrium between the yin and yang, etc. And yet, in the spiritual space for a long time, nobody would even discuss what the lower realms. Nobody would touch the subject, and it's like, guys, we can't have day without night.
Right.
You know, and we know if we've got spiritual beings, family, friends, loved ones, etc. The bones are buried all over the world. We can't heal and deliver without willing to look at what's buried. Looks, tastes good. 100%, Jennifer. 100%. And I'm going to say this, and this is a Nostradamus one. The dead will come out of the graves. So what we're looking at is not just the unraveling and not being honest and open regarding light and dark, accepting that there's the higher realms and there's the lower realms. I actually think one of my kind of takes on all this is we've entered now. Previously, we was entering it. Now we've entered what I refer to as a psychic abyss. It's like we've taken our soul into this abyss, and everything's closing in around us. And as it's closing in, our light is shining on it and transforming it. And we can't just stay up on the higher spheres where that light and expansion is. Our duty or part of our task is to dive in and get our hands dirty, so to speak, if not, worse. Get into these, because there's many souls on those lower realms what need our help and assistance. They're in terrible conditions, unbelievable conditions down there. We often do what's called a rescue circle and literally sit, and I know I'm saying this publicly, but literally sit and generate a light with spiritual guides from the higher vibrations or the, purer frequencies, faster frequencies, whatever we refer to them. And we generate a light for those what may need assistance in what's referred to as the lower realms, the denser frequencies, what have either been caught out there or trapped there or intentionally wishing to be there. The opportunity is now. So what we're seeing is, even on the physical plane, we're seeing everything getting turned over, so it's transformed, and now on the spiritual plane. And none of us are getting away with this. We're all a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I mean, as a note, as a final one on this part, my understanding is every time there's a spiritual circle, doesn't matter what it is, mediumship, trance, channeling, doesn't matter what that circle is, a rescue is taking place during that time and duration when that circle is playing out behind the scenes, because they're attracted. Those poor souls, sounds insulted term, are attracted to the light of the circles. So they're going to take that opportunity. Woof, I'm off. There's a light there. Woof, I'm off. And right. Just on the last note, when we're talking at these kind of like frequencies, then we know there's souls out there what don't want us to even have this conversation, and we'll try and do everything to prevent us from having this conversation, but they ain't going to stop this conversation because they can't. They've got to be free from the change what's making them thinking that way anyway. And I don't believe anybody's going to be left behind. Nobody's going to be, like we said to Jennifer last night, nobody's getting left behind. So there's still a lot of hard work to be done. Yeah. In the weeks and I don't know. Yeah, Arnie, over to you.
It's the term that's out there, where we go one, we go all. That's for a reason.
That's right.
Yeah. What would be the point in leaving behind? Because then you're still in the old system.
Yeah.
We got to bring everybody. And it's true what you're saying. And if you think back even 10, 15, 20 years ago, we would never have this conversation. We wouldn't be allowed to. And first of all, we'd probably be afraid to. Whereas now we're not, because it just proves how everything is coming in and how everything is elevating, that we can have these conversations now. Yeah. And people don't think you're crazy.
Well, Annie, I can confirm it. I was trying to have these conversations 30 years ago.
Yes.
That's when I had my experience. Well, imagine before the internet, before anything, imagine having these conversations. You've got no chance. And especially talking about, not just talking about the darkness or the negative aspect, talking about the light of the cosmos, and including in mediumship. Mm-hmm. It was almost, I remember there was one person, one mind, one guy what could kind of go the distance. And it was brilliant, you know, because up to that point, I didn't have nobody. I was like, no chance. So it's a good point. And now we've got this, and it's all the internet. The internet's done something, can it?
Oh, yeah. It opened up everybody. Because I'm the same way. Back in like 1992, 93, I think it was, when I was working nights, I was up one night and I saw an infomercial. And it was called Millennium 2000. And it was with Jordan Maxwell. And I heard stuff. I was like, what is this? You know, and I started taking notes. And I would go to the library and I would start looking. And then I would start looking at old microfiche.
Yeah.
So this is how I, you know, I started to become aware of like, okay, what's actually happened here, but you can never speak on it because no one would believe you. But the internet, definitely, the internet was their worst nightmare because it opened up everybody's eyes. And what they did in 2020 to everybody around the world was another mistake because, well, maybe not a mistake. It was just part of what had to be done to bring forth an awakening.
Yeah, totally agree. I was just looking at Jennifer's comment. Love and light is carrying the torch into the darkness. The darkness isn't separate from us. Spiritual alchemy.
Right. You can't have one with the other without the other. Darkness exists because it's lack of light. So we have to shine more light on it.
Yeah.
To bring everything up to par.
Yeah. Yeah. This is funny because this is where rescue comes. It's helping the souls what's in the darkness. Now, that sounds, I've got to kind of, I'm always cautious when it's like when we're saying about helping the souls, because it can almost be self-elevating. I do not mean in that way whatsoever. It means being present and assisting in any way we can, you know, on whatever realm we need to go into to help. We've got a question by Sue. Thank you, Sue. Anybody else wants? We're going to do some. We're going to look at all the chats, guys. So if you want to put any thoughts, any questions in, please do. And me and Annie is going to go through them all. Sue, do you want to read this one, Annie?
Gotta use my glasses again. Okay. What are your thoughts with the greater awakening of humanity? There will be a shift beyond third dimensional thinking and planning, opening the way for a completely different way of living and being. Although there will be a transition period, could there be a possibility that a major shifts could jolt us as faster into radical change? Definitely. I feel definitely with that. Yeah. It could be from the skies coming down and presenting themselves to us.
Yeah.
And that's something that people don't believe this, but this actually happened years ago, but it was not to us. It was to our governments where they were presented. And that was a mistake. It's got to be in front of all of humanity.
Yeah.
And the shifting, it's going to be in increments, but there will be pockets of where we get that elevation because we need that, because we need to bring more people together. The more we get them together and we get that form of unity, then you'll see a big shift at once.
Yeah, I think that, I would agree, Annie. We're building. Thank you, Sue. Brilliant question. I'm under the impression, okay, I'm going to backtrack here to the beginning for me, where I had the initial question, and that question remained for so long with me. It just lingered. It was there because I was curious how it was going to be. And the question was, is this transition, is this new world what we're going towards going to be a relatively smooth transition, or is it going to result in a certain shift, an impact all of a sudden? And previously when I viewed it, I was toying with the idea it's just going to end up being one shift, because I was seeing certain things in meditations, future aspects. So I was seeing certain scenes anyway, which kind of joining them all up together, piecing them together, was resulting in something. My understanding is at the moment we've had it in stages. I think it's going to speed up. Well, I don't think it is speeding up, because that's thermodynamics and, you know, we're electromagnetic beings and light, etc. So I think we're speeding up to reach a certain point where that potential, even though we're in stages now, there's a potential that there could be a sudden shift of a certain nature. What that nature could be, I don't know. We know the Earth is looking like it's going to shift.
Mm-hmm.
If the plates move, then who knows? Because if the plates move in a major way, we've all gone anyway. You know, there might be pockets of people. But
I don't see that happening to me. What I feel,
yeah, Annie.
there is outer assistance right now.
Yeah.
And I think that is preventing the sudden changes that wiped us out in previous incarnations from happening. This time we don't reset. We actually evolve. We go forward.
Brilliant stuff. Absolutely. So, I'm just going to say hello to Nancy and Lynn. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Lynn. Do you want to say hello to anybody?
I want to say hi to everybody. I love everybody that I see on here. It's all like the Sacred Spiral Network. Lynn, Nancy, Jennifer. I just love it. I just love every Michael's in. Is one hell of a guy.
Yeah, he is.
He is amazing.
Michael, I'm sorry, I've still got to get in touch with you to organise this next chat. It's on its way. Okay, it's funny because I wanted to touch on that, what you said, Arnie, if we can. And we're going to come to that question if it's okay. It's, what was it? The intervention. Okay. Now, I play around with this because I find this fascinating. I don't believe anybody's going to come to save us.
Right.
No chance. Because if that was the case, they could have come at any time previously and stopped this ridiculous mess what's going on. But more so, they could have stopped all the suffering and the killings, what's happened previously. So, but then there's other reasons. I don't believe anybody's coming to save us. I think we're here to do the job. We created ourselves. We created this reality, what we're living in, and we're going to sort the mess out ourselves. That's my understanding of it. So I don't want to say we're the saviors who we're looking for or expecting or hoping is going to come. What I do believe also along with that is, along the lines of you, Arnie, there's going to be certain interventions as we're awakening, as humanity awakens further and further, as it builds an increase in intensity. When I say intensity, as in the intensity of the light of the soul in that respect. So it's like the awakenings continue, there's an expansion, more and more people are waking up. Even though I know there was one comment that said some of them are not, I get what you're saying. I actually believe, I think we have just had an intervention take place. I think my understanding is on the 20th of March, a new wave of cosmic energy hit the planet. That created a shift of a certain nature without opening up. I don't think we've got enough time to open this one up, but it created a certain shift, and it kind of cracked open the reality we've been existing in. And as it cracked it open, there was a couple of fragments fall off. But one thing was definitely what's definitely clear is we've now began the merging with the new reality. Now, I know, and I've followed this for years and years and years, and especially the waves. It's my forte. The waves are my forte of energies. This one on the 20th was totally different. It had something completely different to it. But then if we fast forward since the 20th of March, when it was announced, when the timeline was given for Iran to open the Straits of Hormuz, with the threat what was there, the death of a civilization, there was an intention behind that without mentioning it. But I'm going to say it aloud anyway. I think there was a moment all humanity was approaching last week, and there was going to be a potential use of a nuclear weapon last week. I have no doubt and no question in my mind for this. And whether it was a tactical one, as they call tactical, whether it was going to be a tactical one or full-blown one. But when you've got a world leader threatening the death and the wipeout of an entire civilization, that defies belief, and that defies any rational thinking anyway. But it was the intention behind it. And I think my understanding and my belief is this: there was an intervention from higher beings behind the scenes, what saved the day last week. Otherwise, we may have been living in a completely different world this week. That's my understanding. And this all started on the 20th of March. After following all the stuff I follow, as like myself, no, I don't mean online, with spiritual beings, reading this situation and this shift as I've always done. That last 3-week period has been exceptional, more than any other period. So totally with you on that one, Arnie.
I agree with you with that, because I can equate that to, I don't know if you've ever had a dream, and when you're waking from the dream, you like fall, and you wake up and you feel elevated, and you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach. During that time period, that's like what I had. So it was like, you know, there's so many different realities that we are in, or that we live in, you know, where we go left where we should have turned right, and then another branch opens up of reality, and so on and so on. We hit that point. So we shifted over into the more positive timeline where it could have been very dark. Yeah. So I agree.
It was for me. I'm still, to be honest, Arnie, I'm still in slight awe over it. Divine intervention, Busher. 100%. I have no doubt in my mind that they was going to use a nuclear missile, nuclear weapon. And of course, the escalation factor from that was just going to be extended. They'd have used it in one location, but then obviously it had brought all the players in. I do think we're at a time, and for everybody what is here, I'm going to apologize slightly because I'm going to say something here. I do believe that there are strong preparations to go to war within the next 3 years, as in a global war. Europe's arming itself. Europe is been pushed out from America, from the East, and Russia. So they've got their own game on the go, but Europe is somehow, there's something very different going on with Europe at the minute. So they're going to arm themselves. They're intentionally, they're saying it, and they're looking at global conflict, or a conflict 27, 28 time. Okay. I think what we're looking at is, we know we've got the end of an empire and the new one coming, or supposedly. But the original empire never, dissolved. The old empire was never wiped out, just changed location. So the Roman Empire just moved. Right. Yep. And it's continued. That system has stayed up to this day. However, when we're looking at the arms race, etc., the doomsday clock is only seconds away now, about 60 something seconds. I think I've been following that for years, and I think we're at that point where the darkness has got to. It's going to lash out, and it is lashing out right now, because it knows it's cornered. It's like a rabid dog cornered. It's just going to lash out as much as it can, because it knows it's got no other route. It's cornered. The light's like zooming in on it. So it's almost reacting to the light of humanity, and it's causing these kind of pockets. It's trying to create this chaos here, there, all over the planet. And it shifts from one big space to a smaller space to then somewhere else to try and keep everybody confused. Mm-hmm. But it's really cornered. And a part of this, sorry for taking so long, but another part of what took place in the last 3 weeks, when that wave hit, it revealed something. It revealed that even though we may work on ourselves and clear our own, hurts, pains, delusions, etc., in our own time previously, And it was we may have felt it's exclusive to us ourselves, what we're doing, because it is exclusive. It's our pain. We're trying to clean up our own backyard, so to speak. And we know others in the spiritual space have been doing it. But there was an uncertainty about those what have been running the planet, whether they would be able to go into that new space, as we call the new world or the new earth, whatever anybody wants to call it. This event recently confirmed that everybody's going. And nobody's got a choice of releasing and taking the chains off, even them. Even they're getting cracked open, so their light can shine as well. That was evident in the last week, 2 weeks. You know, stunning stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I can keep quiet now. Arnie, I'm going to keep quiet, and you've got the floor for the next 20 minutes. Take it.
I guess you could say we actually hit 0 point then. At that point.
A form of, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Now the scale is going to shift. It's been so long where you've had the dark up here and the light here.
Yeah.
And it was tricked into staying down here. And as the veil is lifting, it's all becoming unveiled. And like you were saying, the dark has nowhere to go. So it's like a child. Think of it as a child.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to lash out. It's going to throw a tantrum.
That's what it's doing. A tantrum. It's having a tantrum.
It grows. So.
This is why, Annie, this is why it's like this community, everybody what's here and around the world, spiritually speaking, this is like the adults now coming into the room.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, guys, you need to calm down. I've heard enough. You know, I'm trying to watch TV. You're doing my head in. You know, it's like, calm down. And this is, I think this is really what it is. Michael's in. I like Jennifer's vision of merging to become one. Yeah, if we can, I'm going to go for all these comments. Let me just, let's see where we can start with them all. Well, I'm going to ask Ava just to bring them up as she will. Michael, let's start with Michael. Do you believe we will ever eviscerate darkness, or will that mean eviscerate in 3D? Oof. Nice question, Michael.
No, we won't. There will be darkness until we hit like 6th, 7th dimension, because you still have a form of physicality, and you will always have the scales of light and dark up to a certain point before there's pure light. It just won't be as heavy as it is here.
That's an interesting point, Annie. Interesting. I'm tempted to throw something in, but I'm going to leave it at that, Michael. I'm like, okay, no, that's not fair to do that. My understanding is, as we go into the 4th dimension, in fact, we can't even get into the 4th without letting go of all the darkness of this. If we liken it to a spectrum of frequencies, so if we say the 3rd dimension is filled with a spectrum of frequencies, and that spectrum of frequencies is filled with our thoughts and emotions, they're getting transformed, and we're using it as a springboard into the 4th dimension. And as we go into the 4th dimension, and especially towards the 5th, we can't take any of this stuff with us. None of it. We can't get into the 5th dimension carrying the slightest grain of negativity within us. That's my understanding. However, we can't deny, if we look at it, depending what plane or frequency we start looking at it. At the moment, my understanding, I'll stick with that one for the time being. As we're going towards the 4th, we're offloading, transformation. Into the 5th, we're clear. Pure light. You know, could be wrong. It's a bit like, it reminds me of when we come out of the physical body and we go to spirit. Nobody in spirit on those lighter, what we call the lighter planes or the higher vibrations, darkness can't exist, negativity. That's why there's no hate and pain on those planes. So it's telling us there's a kind of space where we transform our energies at that point, at that level. We're transforming them here, but between dimensions or between the 3rd and 5th dimension. So, because I'm still curious about the 4th dimension. A lot of people seem to be skipping to the 5th dimension. Not yourself, Michael, but a lot of people seem to be going, okay, we'll go into the 5th dimension. It's like, okay, sorry, What about the fourth? What's going on in the fourth phase? We barely understand the third dimension. I don't know how many people understand the second or the first, but they're proclaiming to know about the fifth and seventh and 10th and 15th. It's like, please tell me about it. I'm curious. I'm interested. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and I've been talking about ascension and energies of light. It's my stuff, but it fascinates me. It's like everybody's going, fourth one doesn't matter. We're just going into the fifth. No. Really?
Gotta go up. Gotta go through all the processes. Like you were saying yesterday with Jennifer, the spiral. I love that. Because the spiral goes up, and as it goes up, it expands. And you're expanding your frequency and you're elevating.
Yeah, totally.
That's a good one.
Totally. I think we are. I think we are a mass. When we're talking about being energies, we're a mass of spirals, and our consciousness, right? I think just throwing this one in, we're almost like a spiral of truth as a whole. That's what I've kind of classed it, or spiral of awareness. I like them both, but previously I used to use spiral of truth. I actually wrote a book called Spiral of Truth, and used to do workshops on it, and it was all to do with spiral energy, because it kind of fits with us. That we're moving. There's never this constant moment we are static, because even when we're static, something's going on some deep, profound level beyond human comprehension. Michael, yes, agreed. It will always exist in the third, but we can shift to fourth and fifth. So I'm go on, Arnie. Do you want to say something about this?
Yeah, it's just I just feel that we will still have the duality, but it's not going to be as heavy as it is in this third dimension.
Yeah. Interesting stuff, this, isn't it? Really. I just want to, I would like to hold that one because I want to throw something in on this just to play around a bit with a bit of reverse stuff. I can't help it, Arnie, sometimes. Right. So, Michael, brilliant point. So, it will always exist in the third, but we can shift to the fourth and fifth beyond. Now then. Oof. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to say it. I'm sorry. I was waiting to see whether I can or can't. Right. If we are entering into a psychic abyss, and we imagine the abyss to be a spiral, so we've come from the light, which is at its clearest, highest, most expansive point, and we've brought our soul, our consciousness, into the spiral, because we have this concept where ascending and expanded, like you've just described, which we are. What if we are simultaneously descending as well? And the reason why I thought this is I do believe we've got to go into the spiral. We've got to go to its narrowest point or its densest point, which means, I'm going to come across as a madman, I know I am. Right. It means we've got to go into, maybe we've come from the 8th dimension, as an example, 9th dimension, but then we've come through the spiral, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And we're now at the point we've come into the 3rd dimension. And we've got to take our consciousness, but our light, into the 2nd dimension, because that's even denser. Then into the 1st dimension, because that's the iota, that's the point of the dot. Because we need to pierce the 1st dimension in order to open up that new spiral. And it's funny, we touched on this last night with Jennifer about, imagine we are a cosmic portal. Whichever direction we see it, we're seeing this V shape or the spiral shape. And so we're constantly in touch with the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th dimensions on the frequencies of our higher self. That's playing out as we're speaking right now. And yet we've got to send that light. We're actually bring that light into the lower realms. So all lower realms down to the first D has got to be cleared and become light. So then what we've got is a total alignment between the 1st and the 7th dimension, but something else. That center point, that iota of 1D is where we've got to get. The light has got to hit that, because as it hits that, it's going to open up into a new portal of reality. Just wanted to throw that in just to play around with everybody's head.
I kind of agree with that, and the way I say it is a little bit different. Like I'm saying, the veils are collapsing. It's all collapsing down to 0 point, and from there,
Agreed.
we have the new reality, the new beginning.
100%, Michael. Yeah, Arnie. 100%. Totally. Yeah, that fits perfect with me. Michael. Oh, sorry. We missed that bit. On and off. Yes. Infinity goes out as well as in.
Yeah.
That's if infinity exists, Michael. Does it exist? Just playing, Michael. It's just a joke. It's because me and Jennifer was talking about Beyond Infinity last night. Totally agree with you, Michael. Heidi, very intriguing. Thank you, Heidi. Let's have some more comments then. Philosophy with Rich. Arnie, over to you.
It's like waves of vibration, music reverberating. Speaker. Okay. Yeah, well, everything is vibration. Everything is frequency vibration, and that's how it forms light. So, sure.
Yeah, I like that one, Rich. Yeah. Reverberating out of the speaker, but not only out, just all at once.
Yeah. Encompassing, yeah.
Beautiful, Rich. Thank you so much. Lynn. Oof, gentlemen. That's very English politeness, Lynn. Gentlemen. Are the dark forces trapped here like being imprisoned to keep their darkness more contained? Go on, Annie, go for that one.
Well, let me see. Prison keep their darkness more contained. Well, they've always been trying to hide it, and they can no longer hide it. So everything's being exposed. So there's no place for them to hide anymore. So it will no longer be able to be contained. All will be exposed.
Yeah.
Dark to light.
Yeah. I've got Lynn. It's interesting, that one, because sorry, Arnie, was there more on that? Did you want to say more? I was looking at your question, Lynn, because it's almost implying, and it's a perception, it could be my perception. It's almost implying what you're saying, I think, is have they been imprisoned here to keep the darkness more contained? Well, if they've been imprisoned, why have we got chucked in amongst them? That's my question. It's like, woof, hang on then. Have we all done something wrong then? Are we all a bunch of criminals on the planet? Is this a criminal colony, planet Earth? So I think what's happened, Lynn, is slightly serious now. I think there's been, throughout evolution, over the eons of time on the planet, or the ages of time on the planet, there's been that much hate and pain and suffering and negativity, wars, constant wars, violence, battling. And so many have become infected over that long period of evolution. And some of them have become that infected that they then, which we even see in today's world, that they then react the same to others, born out of their own insecurity, out of their own fear, etc., which then takes us to, for me, compassion and judging. For me, judgment doesn't even exist. It's a figment, it's an illusion in itself. It's a figment of our imagination. Compassion itself is what's going to be needed more and more by the day as we go forward. Because whether they've been imprisoned here, which I don't think they've been imprisoned by a greater force, I think they've chosen on the physical plane to be who they are due to their experiences and circumstances of their, let's say, even previous incarnations, because we're all clearing karma, so to speak. And they've chosen to act in the way they do, whether it's on the lower realms or the physical plane, what we're seeing with mass murder taking place. So it's a good point, Lynn, a very, very good point.
Well, the way I see that with being imprisoned, we've been imprisoned.
By them.
And we've been imprisoned by the darker forces.
Mm.
And that ends.
Yeah, good point, Annie. Brilliant. Lynn, really nice question. In a way, they're trapped within their own insecurity. So, Lynn, who won these ventures out? Oops. Who won these ventures? Who won these ventures out onto the skinny branches? Not sure what that means. What does that mean, Lynn? Is it an American saying, Arnie?
If it's one, I don't know it.
Lynn, what are you smoking? We want some of it. Who won these ventures out onto the skinny branches? Onto the skinny branches. Lynn, I'm curious. Please clarify for us. Let's move to the next one. Sue Townsend. Annie, over to you.
Let's see. It's the fourth dimension space where new ethereal building blocks are being created as part of transition from third dimension. I just see the fourth dimension as somewhat like it is right now, but where nothing is hidden. It's where we no longer need to use speech. We have telepathy.
Yeah.
And where we start working together. And where, like Colin was saying too, it's like you can't have the darkness anymore because you can't hide your darkness from anybody. You're exposed. And that is going to bring everybody together. It's going to bring the unity. And it's going to elevate us forward to where we can get to the fifth dimension.
Yeah. Yeah. Good, but brilliant. Love it. It's that. It's funny. Nobody's going to be able to lie in the end because there's too many psychics going to pick up on it. So, but I'm just going to add a little bit with this, Sue. Thank you for this, Sue. Is the fourth dimension space where new ethereal building blocks are being created as part of the transition from third? Do you know what that is, Sue? Sue's got an absolutely brilliant mind, Annie. Seriously, and such a way with words. So, ethereal building blocks. Again, this came up previously in a conversation what Jennifer Rose and I had. I think it was last week or the week before, about the grid, that a new grid was being created. And so we can imagine one grid as the ethereal web or the etheric web or the ethereal grid, where the thoughts and emotions of humanity has been streaming backwards and forwards. And they've been quite dark because they've been filled up with fear over the centuries, etc. So my understanding is they're clearing now because as we clear ourselves, what goes into the ether, the light of it, then goes into the light of the ether and it starts clearing those thoughts and emotions, etc. But then we spoke about a new grid, etheric, or we've done it. The second one might not be ethereal. However, but I would have a tendency to say yes to this, Sue, that, somewhere between the third dimension and the fourth, or even the overlap in that overlapping stage, could be ethereal blocks. And the blocks, actually, when you look at a grid, depending on your perception, really good point, Sue. Then, if we opened it up slightly, we could say, okay, ethereal, we're using it as blocks. It means we can use the ether to travel through beyond time. We can take our kind of consciousness into it to travel beyond time into the fourth. We know when we meditate, and as soon as we have shifted our consciousness, even the slightest bit, we know at that point we've got an altered state. We're creating an altered state. We're going into an altered state. We're going away from the one we're already in. When we go further, especially slightly deeper meditations, we know we enter a space which is time and space doesn't exist. We're in some kind of realm there. At that point, I believe, is where we're starting to touch upon the fourth dimension. Then when we go to the fifth and sixth, they're different stories altogether. But I think this is a good point. It's really nice to have these thoughts and questions on the fourth dimension because they're not normally had by a lot of people. So, thank you. Brilliant stuff. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us and putting all this stuff in the chat. Anybody else? I don't hear much about 4D. Not a lot of people talk.
Yeah.
Is it the same for you, Arnie?
Yeah, same thing. It's everyone's talking 3 to 5th dimension.
Yeah.
Can't skip.
Yeah. Well, it's like everything when it's in vogue and people don't stop to think, do they? Don't go, hang on, let me press pause They just jump straight onto it. Evelyn, sorry. I'm not truly understanding all the dimensions. Evelyn, you are not alone. We're playing with words and possibilities and potentials, Evelyn. Okay. What we're doing is just trying to categorize things in order to kind of comprehend it with our human mind. So,
yeah, a good way to actually look at that is look at your pets. See how your pets can see things and sense things that you can't. They're seeing at another dimensional level that you don't see. So it's basically it's where you're vibrating at to what you're going to be able to see as far as a dimension.
Yeah. Good way of explaining it, honey. Lynn, here we go. Oh, oops. I love these ventures. Well, that's a lot different from the sticks on the branches, Lynn. Dan dictation. Oh, Lynn, we love you so much. Brilliant stuff. Do you want to read this one, Annie?
What if imprisonment is just immaturity, the playground of control and manipulation, and freedom is maturity, love of self and of each other? Well, once again, it's evolving, it's learning, it's opening up, this is all part of growth for all of us. So in a way, yes. Sure.
Yeah, beautiful. Jennifer, you've just got such a beautiful mind. It's true. It's the self-imposed limitations, isn't it? Which then we start acting immature. Somebody said to me at one occasion, at what point does the mind become an adult? Yeah, when does somebody become an adult? I thought it was one of the best questions anybody's ever asked. And when would you say it, Arnie?
When you can accept responsibility, stand in authenticity, and not be afraid to speak and express how you feel and like that.
Yeah. I've got to confess, when I looked at it, and then the spiritual, I looked at it both materially, physically, or whatever we call it, and energetically and spiritually. And the only one I could find was when we become enlightened.
When you love unconditionally, also.
Yeah. It's and I think this is the beautiful thing. What we're seeing here, imprisonment. We're self-imposed, isn't it? Okay, we know there's conditions being placed around us and upon us, but ultimately there's still no excuse for that anyway. And especially once we start to recognize that, we've actually put ourselves in self-imposed prisons. So now we're going, okay, the chains are coming off. I'm opening the door. Oh, the door didn't exist. Oh, I wasn't really in a prison. Why did I think all that? And yet when we're in it, we think we are in it. Brilliant stuff. Thank you for all your comments, everybody. Philosophy of wish. Funny that we never see the so-called world leaders walk in the streets. What if they only exist as word of mouth, powered by perceived narratives of choice and fake TV, etc.? Fill your boots with this one, Arnie.
It's all a show. At least here, I know, like in the States, when you vote for someone, first of all, you're given a choice of two. And you're not even given that choice. It's whoever they want, and they give you, it's the illusion of
choice,
of control and having someone in control, and that you're actually voting and putting someone in there and you're really not. So it's part of the prison system, the brainwashing and the control that they have over all of us. Because even if you think about it, at least here, I know there's 535 seats where people hold. Yeah. And these 535 people make decisions on war and everything else. When you would ask every person down the street one by one, would you want war? Your answer is no. So what gives the right of one percentage or a small amount to make the decision for everybody? And it's all part of the control. It's all part of the manipulation and keeping us down.
Yeah.
And people are waking up to it and seeing it, and we keep shining the light on it, and that's it. It's done.
Brilliant stuff. Rich, thank you so much. And thank you, Arnie. This is good stuff, guys. It's like, let's throw something else in then, because it's like they've created a theatre and they've got everybody in the seats and they're the actors on the stage and the directors behind the curtains and directing everything. Here, there's your script. You need to say that. Don't go off script. That's why teleprompters and all the rest of it, blah, blah, blah. And I realized there was a point in England when I realized about politicians where they was just company men. They worked for a company. Didn't know who the company was at the time, but it was clear they worked for a company and they was being told what to do. And so all politicians globally just work for a company. They're represented, they're like the managers, the regional managers representing. They stand there with a suit and tie on or whatever and try and convince us that what they're making available is good for us. Right. And now everybody's sitting there listening to going, actually, it looks like we've got the lunatics running the asylum now.
It's true.
Do I want to be in this asylum? What am I doing in this asylum?
Yeah,
so,
the Truman.
The Truman Show. So, in effect, what we've got is, I think we've got the slow process of taking the reins off them because they're not going to let them go. We know there's no way they are going to, like voting. Voting has always been, guys, whoever's listening, I'm sorry, if anybody's here, if you're voting, forget it. You're wasting energy, time, and everything. You might as well just sit and meditate and enjoy the presence of spirit because your voting doesn't count. It's a myth. That is really a big smokescreen. That's what they've relied on. Let them think they've got a choice. And I know I can almost feel one or two going, Colin, I'm not sure about that. Trust me, I am sure. I've seen it year after year after year. They will move the players even an hour before the day before the election in place, and you go, what? Where did that one come from? Etc. So we're talking about managers and companies, and then we can just open this up. I'm going to open it a little bit more because I still want some of this. This is meaty stuff in it, right? So when we look at a pyramid, and we think the top of the pyramid is the all-seeing eye, so to speak, and then there's the hierarchy coming down, layer after layer after layer, of those minds what are attempting to run the system, okay? And then it comes all the way down to that low, big base at the bottom where humanity is. I really think that's been tipped on its head right now, and we're seeing the destruction of it. And spiritual guides and spiritual beings and cosmic beings, from wherever they're coming from, are really assisting humanity in order for us, like you said, Annie, to see it, keep shining our lights, and keep being as positive and loving and as kind and as compassionate as we can, and yet not bury our heads in the sand and ignore that, because that's the way they've always got away with it. Before the internet, like we said earlier, before the internet, it was 2 or 3 in England. It was like 3. You had 3 at one point. You only had 2 news channels. Then you got 3. Then you got 4 for many, many years. That was the source of news. They were just pounding the programming out from the news, and all the newspapers was owned anyway, so they was getting certain news. Whereas now the internet just went okay, and what's called the legacy media, is dying a slow death. He's hanging on by his nails on the edge of the cliff, isn't it? Still making out, and they're putting billions into it to prop it up. When the alternative media is going, hello, this is the news today.
But it's funny because like in movies and everything, they have to show you what they're doing. It's part of like their magic.
Yeah.
And one I love as an instance for this is Star Trek. Because with Star Trek, you have the Prime Directive. And that's how I see the ET side of it. They're just waiting. They're waiting. They're waiting for us to take control for ourselves. And fix this system to where they can let themselves be known, because they can't interfere with what's going on with us knowing.
Yeah.
So I kind of see that as something that's being played out.
Yeah, definitely. It's here, isn't it? The moment is here now, Arnie, with this. The ETs, we call them ETs, there was that warning, wasn't there? There was a warning given by Admiral Byrd when he went to the Antarctica. Jennifer, we are playing out the father figure savior story with world leaders. How's that working out for us? Annie, off you go. I like throwing it your way.
We're doing away with that. That's going bye-bye. We don't need the father anymore. We're growing up. We need to take control for ourselves. Yeah.
Say goodbye to Kansas.
Yep.
And the father's dissolving with it, hidden in plain sight. Oh, Jennifer. Yeah. Jennifer, are you a conspiracy theorist? Just kidding. So that's always been the best place to hide it.
Yeah, exactly. 100% with this one. That's all they do from every angle. And whenever something starts to get exposed, they always bring something else into the picture to keep your mind focused over here instead of looking here. Always. Yes. And once you see through it, you see through it.
Oh, Lynn, the prime directive, that's what I was trying to recall.
Yep.
Brilliant, Lynn. Heidi made a comment. I think it was Heidi or Kim. Heidi. Oh, there we go. Heidi, although I'm pretty good at calling out someone's deception, I can spot a poser a mile away, or an imposter, or an imposer. Well, that doesn't matter. Same thing, Heidi, innit? So, Michael, I love Michael's. We all need to follow our heart, even if it seems dark to others. Respect for Arnie. I think it's all a metaphor for truth. 100%, Michael. Yeah, keep pounding away. Totally agree. Nancy.
Evil deception, but truth is.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We have there is more good in the world than evil and deception. But the truth is, yeah. So it's always the battle between good and evil and left and right and race and whatnot. It's always to try and keep you down, to pull you down. And the trick is just to discern, to be able to discern, to see. And whenever anything comes to light or something's on the screen or whatever, always try to look at it objectively with no emotion and putting no energy into it. And that'll help you to disassociate and to see it for what it is, accept it for what it is, but don't give it energy.
Yeah. Nancy, I absolutely, totally, It's very subtle. That's the way they've always done it. Yeah. They've always played, and it's like water, or it's like a negative virus. It will seep into every nook and cranny, and before you know it, we're engulfed by it. And you're right, Nancy, because I know Nancy's got her head on it. So it is. It's like when we get pulled into it, the fear can kick in. Pulled into the fear. It's like they're relying. If we say, okay, how does this work? So they send the signal out to us, whatever word or text or whatever we're seeing, and anything we're carrying, which is of insecurity within ourselves, it generates a fear. And that fear then comes to the surface. And in effect, what's happening is they're not projecting the fear. They're trying to draw it out within us so that we feel fearful. And that fear can only come, this is a little bit deep for some people, but sorry to sound whatever. That fear can only come from insecurity. The insecurity can only come from one place, ego, the I. If we can go in, that's where pride comes from. You know, there's so many aspects what come back to ego. None of them, even judgment, none of them actually exist. The a figment of our imagination. So in order to stop our fear and it being used against us, the best way is to go within and clear it, especially clear the insecurity. Our insecurity is as a result of the ego, because the I wants to be recognized. The I wants to be seen. It's the I, look, I'm here. And yet the I doesn't actually exist. If we look for it, we can't see it. We can't find it. We can't find the ego. We can have glimpses of what it is. You know, if we get triggered, somebody's ego will kick in, etc. We see them sort of formats and frequencies of it. But in its purest form, in its deepest form, it's not there. So as we go on the journey of trying to find the ego and clear the ego, and I know there's an argument where people go, well, we can use ego. Ego's brilliant. We use it for confidence. It's like, well, you don't need ego to have confidence. You need light to have confidence. Your light will just automatically make you feel comfortable, because light is confident. It's that powerful, not in a egotistical way. It's just got that intensity. So there's a journey back within in order to stop this. And I think this is a really interesting point, what you've raised here, Nancy, and opened up, because this is where they're having difficulty now. Everybody is going in and they're clearing their insecurities, they're clearing all that sort of stuff. So people are becoming less fearful. Why? Because they've got less fear inside them. They've got less cause to be fearful, because the light's now shining and it's making them feel safe and secure. Brilliant stuff there. So this is just a big unraveling, Arnie, isn't it?
Yeah. Stop giving our power away. Yeah. It's funny, when you were just talking about that, it made me think, like 4 years ago when I started getting into this, the first thing I did was create that domain name, the website that I have, Ascend From Within. Had no clue why I did it, but it's a reminder to me every time I see it. Yes, all comes from within, all stems from within. We all have the spark of creation within us.
Yeah.
There's no need to look outward. It's all within.
Yeah. Amazing, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. Jennifer, could each dimension be envisioned as plates stacked up, and we complete each level dimension going up, down in a spiral-like staircase?
Once again, we think everything we're doing, we're thinking in third dimensional. We're seeing it in three-dimensional. It could be anything. It's just a shift. It's a shift in reality. It's create your own reality. You know,
I'm going to show you some. I've got something. I'm going to just grab it.
Yeah, just raising your vibration and will bring you to these different levels. And the key is to try and stay there, to be there long enough where you stay there.
Brilliant. I don't know if I can show you this, but let's see. Oh, yeah, there you go. Can you see that?
Okay.
So, literally, what I did, I drew that by hand last week. Purely because I've been doing in-person kind of talks, presentations. And I thought, okay, I was taking the laptop and I've got the spirals and everything on the laptop, and I thought, I need to do this by hand, so I can just stand them there in front of people, and then I can explain it from there. But it's really interesting that Jennifer McCormack's just mentioned that. And definitely agree with what you said, Michael. Annie, what we've got here is, even the pictures I do, they're more just descriptions to help us kind of work it out, calculate, analyze, use both our logical and emotional sides of our awareness, and to comprehend what's going on. As far as the description is concerned, that next stage, the fourth, fifth, sixth dimension within us, when we open up beyond it, we don't need any of this stuff. Nothing. Like you said, telepathy.
Mm-hmm.
This normal human language now has reached its max. Can't go much further, because we're failing to describe this. Even now, we're failing to describe dimensional energies and planes. So, but I would say to you, Jennifer, definitely, if it fits yours, because that's what I do, if it fits my awareness, and maybe we should throw this in as well. we're trying to, it's like we've come from the light and we're diluting this information. We're trying to express it on a physical plane. So all we can do is use physical expressions in this form, like your art, Arnie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like trying to convey the art with the codes, etc., in them in its physical form. But when I dare say your art is probably different from when you actually experience getting the codes. And you actually kind of move your mind in order to express it in a physical form.
Right, because each code is a vibration. Exactly.
How do you describe a vibration?
You can't.
Look, I've just seen a wave go past.
But it will take a form. So.
Yeah, that's right. Manifesting itself in a certain form. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant, Jennifer. Yeah, I like the spiral. I like the spiral and the staircase.
And even the way you have it drawn, it's showing like she was describing plates, and each expansion is a different plate. So
yeah, I'll have to get some of these images out. This PowerPoint image. I've got masses of PowerPoint images, and when she said about the plates, I thought, I've got a picture on the computer about that, but I know I won't be able to bring it up onto this screen at the minute. That's why I got the TV actually behind us, because I don't watch TV. That's just literally for showing images. Brilliant. Let's have a look at some more comments. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. We've probably got about 10 minutes left, and then we'll probably start wrapping it up if that's all right. Lynn, is what Jennifer McCormack described something like Jacob's ladder? I don't know how you envisage Jacob's ladder. I've got a different version of Jacob's ladder, Lynn. What about you, Mike? Arnie, I keep calling. Wow, I keep wanting to call you Michael.
Each rung is going up a different level. It's expanding.
Yeah.
You could either go up or you can go down. So.
Yeah. Do you know, if I may, I'm just going to throw this in with that ladder, because I wanted to with what Jennifer Mack said. Often we can associate and liken the spiritual path to a ladder. One analogy is. And as each rung represents a spiritual ability. And we're stepping up the ladder. And let's say we start off with the awakening. And then from the awakening, we open up our psychic faculty. The psychic faculty then gets us to expand into the spirit, understanding spiritual matters, including mediumship, the spirit world. So like 3 rungs, boom. And then we start going into the healing aspects, let's say, the next rung, and so on and so on. Till eventually it leads us to the channeling and the trance. And each one, if we can describe it as that way. So then where we're going, what's on the other rungs of the ladder, beyond mediumship, beyond trance, beyond channeling? What's on that next? At the minute, I can't perceive that we're going to lose the aspect of channeling, because I think ultimately we are the channel, in physical form and other forms. We're a vessel of some nature. What's your thoughts on that, Arnie?
If anything, I think that'll expand, because everyone on this planet has any ability that you have, I have, Lynn has. They just don't realize it or believe in it.
Yeah.
And as we go higher, that's going to open up for everyone. And it's so hard when we talk about all these different dimensional levels and that. We're here now. We have to get to the next one before we can even think of going to the 5th and see what it is, because we haven't gotten to the 4th yet, or maybe partially we are in the 4th. We're entering it right now.
Yeah.
So it's, that ladder, just take it 1 rung at a time. Don't double step.
Brilliant stuff. Perfect.
And one thing too, I feel I need to say this too, is everybody that's in the chat, even, I mean, we're all on the same level and we all feel like the same way with stuff. Speak up, create a channel. The more people that actually get out there and start speaking on this, the more we're going to elevate everybody, the quicker we're going to go higher. Don't be afraid. If I can do this, if I can come on here and speak, a guy who's totally quiet, never likes to speak, if I can do this, you could do it. Don't be afraid. Don't let fear rule you.
Annie, did you put some lead boots on when you jumped into that rabbit hole?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's wow.
Yeah.
When you, especially if for people that don't believe, when they start getting this stuff, it's going to be. These people are going to need us. Believe me, because when you awakened and you learned all this stuff, how enraged you probably were at the time. These people are going to be even more. So we have to be even more compassionate to when they do wake up.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I think that's such an important point, Annie. Definitely, it's so important. It's we've been having funny enough. There's a couple of bits on this because today we mentioned, we had the spiritual guys workshop, and there's just beautiful minds on there. And some of the comments and the views and thoughts, these are the spiritual teachings sitting there, And we said, funny enough, exactly what you've just come out. That's why I laughed. It's like everybody needs a platform. Create a platform. Everybody in the chat, create, like Annie says, create your platform. Just get out there and put this stuff out there to everybody.
Just be careful of how you do it, because I had 11 YouTube channels canceled.
Why am I not surprised at that?
Yeah.
11 YouTube channels cancelled.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I love it, Annie. I love it. So, but there was something else in that. The help and assistance. I think, and this is why I love this community. I've never been big. I kept private for many years. It was only whenever it started. But I kept private and kind of behind the scenes all the time. And it was like, okay, you got to go public. But, and I've never really been big on tribes. I don't like the word tribes and its connotations because it's always got the aspects of divide and division with it. And then I looked at, for some reason, lately, community started coming up. I was the same with community. But community's got a different kind of atmosphere, connotation, or frequency to it, if that makes sense. And I think what we're seeing is a community building globally. And also, there's a push by cosmic beings, by spiritual guides, to kind of get us to unite and become a powerhouse. And I don't use that word lightly. I never liked the word power. But to generate the light as much as we can for the exact purpose what you've just said. Yeah. Because clearly we know there's awakenings taking place every day now. And I think what we're looking at is more waves coming. More, and they're going to be impactful. And I think all of us as a community really need to be open and available and be present for others. And we can only do that, and we know this, and I know I repeat it, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating it to people what I said it. We've got to protect our mind. We've got to keep our tanks topped up. And we've got to maintain that sense of light and love within us. That's what's going to hold us together and the community and one another. And if we support one another, like we're doing, I mean, this is beautiful. Everybody coming on here. And like you said, Annie, there's a sense of equanimity in this space. Everybody's voice is valid as far as I'm concerned. And that's so important because voices have been shut down or, pushed away or ignored or not listened to for years. And I think everybody's voice, that's why I love the interaction when we're doing these. Whether I'm that side in the chat throwing something in or this side, I love the interaction because it's doing it together, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Annie, okay, we'll probably make sure we'll start drawing it to a close. I hope there's no comments we've missed. Maybe there is. If we have, I'm so sorry. Oh, okay. Oh, Rose Sullivan. Hi, Rose. I had a really strange dream where I was given a load of random numbers. I did wonder if they were either light codes or something else. What's your thoughts, Annie?
Keep a journal and document. Because what doesn't make sense today may make sense a month from now or a year from now. Or you'll see the pattern of things. and you've been able to piece it together.
Yeah, Rose, thank you so much, and thank you for joining us. Yeah, just watch, keep hold of them, and see how they unfold. Rose, Ascending Universal Butterfly. How beautiful and wonderful this collaboration has been. I enjoyed so much question and answer and brought clarity and understanding. Thank you so much. Thank you, Arnie, for joining us and sharing everything. I think we're going to have to do part 2, 3, and 10, I think, at some point.
Anytime.
Jennifer, thank you. Chat is enlightening over Brenda. Thank you.
I just love all you guys out there, and I appreciate you so much. You have no idea.
Any final thoughts? Tani. Oh, Tani's here. Hi, Tani. Thanks for joining us. Oh. Yeah, sorry, what was that one? I missed that one. I'm just kind of gratitude. Heidi, gratitude to you too. Gratitude to everybody. And all your guides. I mean, how amazing is this? The guides have brought us together.
Yeah.
You know.
No coincidences.
Yeah, no, and I want to. Do you know what? I'm going to throw this in because I want to flip the switch on this one. We often think about our communication and our side of our development and journey with our guides, knowing the guides are walking with us, and yet the focus is all kind of here. How can I improve? What can I do to do that? How can I get to this point? How can, and in the messages and the channeling and etc. A lot of it is centered on us. I'm hoping it's going to flip, and we're going to start saying, okay, what Spirit's thoughts here? What Spirit's thoughts about my mediumship, about what I'm saying, what about my channeling? What are they like? What are they doing, collaborating on the other side, trying to tell us, and kind of extend our consciousness into what Spirit's thinking and blend with their thoughts, not so that we can do mediumship and any other aspect, but politely sit there and go, what are you thinking? What do you think to all this? What do you think I should be doing? Do you know what I mean? And taking that on board and looking at, I think we're at the point where we're not getting pulled into them, but attuning to them, where it then becomes, rather than a one-way street, it does become that two-way street. And we start asking them, and we consider them and take them into consideration, all those aspects of who they are. And we sit and be quiet and listen to them, you know, for once. Because we know they listen to us all the time.
Right.
You know.
Well, that's again, it's just raising to that level of frequency where we can have that two-way conversation.
Yeah. Arnie, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Have you got anything you'd like to share with us? Any events coming up, etc.?
Just use your discernment. Don't give all the things that you see out there energy. And I always say this: unite, don't fight.
Unite, don't fight. On that note, Arnie, thank you. So hopefully you'll come back and we can continue with this. I'd love you to have you back. I'm sure everybody, I see somebody else said, yes, please, let's have another one. Amazing. Anybody, just so anybody knows, I'm going to throw this out. Lynn, thank you. Yes, Lynn, looks like it's confirmed. We'll be meeting again. And Lynn, I've still got to get in touch with you. I'm so sorry. Unite, don't fight. On that note, thank you, everybody, to whoever's been here, for those what's been talking and communicating with us in the chat. You don't know how much it's appreciated. It's been amazing coming together like this with some, you know, I'm going to say it because it sounds nice in my mind. The adults are in the room. Everybody in the chat. I mean, I might be the child amongst you lot, actually. I might be the little boy messing around here. I might be getting told off before long, but hey, we'll see when it comes. And you guys are the adults. Amazing stuff. Also, please check out Arnie's site. Have a look at Menorca Consciousness Group. Tomorrow we've got Crystal Class Wolf tomorrow, Open Circle or Circle with Spirit, which is open to channeling, trance, whatever will take place. We've expanded the Open Circle now. It's like, okay, everything's on the table, guys. It's not about just mediumship. Also, we've got the Moonface community, which is taken by Annie Fraser. She's absolutely beautiful soul. So have a look on, that's tomorrow, 6 o'clock UK. Melissa Calhan and Francis will be taking the crystal, etc. And then we've also got World Peace Meditation with Colette, all on through MCG and EVC. And we've got so much more on in the week. Next week, we've got brilliant Michael Christopher. And at some point, we've got Michael Zinn. All the Michaels will be coming. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. In the meantime, please, whatever you do, just stay safe, keep close to your guides, and enjoy it. Just think, I don't need to worry you. There's nothing to worry about whatsoever. Life is eternal. You know, these are just, we're talking about details. Anyway, Arnie, lots of love. Thank you to Ava. Thank you to Johnny. Thank you to Ava for running it behind the scenes. Thank you to Jennifer for allowing us onto her platforms. Thank you to the whole world and blah, blah, blah.
Thank you, Colin.
Stay on with us, Arnie, please. Just if you can. Great stuff. Thank you. Lots of love to everybody. May the force be with you.